Hey guys, so a couple years ago, I went to the Def Leppard Stadium tour and I went backstage and I got to basically hold all these iconic guitars, and one of them was the Bela. And it occurred to me, I still hadn't recreated the Bela. And I think I was waiting because there was some talk that Jackson Custom Shop would do like a limited run. So I just didn't move on it. And then recently I realized, I really need to get this done. So I reached out to Dan Lawrence and I'm like, Dan, hey, I really want to do Bela. I'm ready, but I got to find a guitar, right? I got to find a guitar to paint. And he's like, well, just so you know, it's not a dinky or a soloist body. It's a Jackson Strat body. And I'm like, really? I've been looking at this guitar my whole life. And he's like, yeah, if you look at the horns, they're a lot rounder. Like, it's not what you think it is. And he goes, and it's also not a 24 fret guitar. And I'm like, oh my God, so I thought I was just going to buy like a 24 fret white soloist or white dinky and be done with it. And then I got really OCD because I was thinking to myself, to get this painted, it's a lot of work for Dan. Why would I do it unless it was really going to be more authentic? So I went on this journey of trying to figure out, like, how do I get something like this, which I'm holding here, to happen? So I want to share all these details because, first of all, I'm going to forget them. They're all fresh in my mind. If anyone else has a similar, passion to build this thing, I want to kind of share my secret. So the first thing was, how do I get a Strat body with a Floyd and two hums and okay? So this is the journey. So the thing is this: you guys all know the Strats are front loaded. Their input switches on the front. You can't just find a Strat body easily that looks like this. So the most obvious answer to that were the Pro Mods, the Charvel Pro Mods. And I had one because I got my Charvel Pro Mod painted by Mike Learn. So I had the body, I compared it to a Strat, and I was like, this is pretty much a Strat body, I'm good to go. But this is the thing, my first foray into this was buying this black body. And there are a couple things that bothered me about it. One was that it has this truss rod cutout, which just drives my OCD nuts. Even though PC1s have them, it just bothers me. And then it also had like unnecessary pickup selector switch, a volume and a tone. But what I discovered was that for a couple of years, I think in the early 2010s, they made these Pro Mods, which basically have amazingly the dual switch, which is exactly what's on Bela, and one volume. Now Bela has these two toggles, which I think are like coil taps. Even Phil was like, he doesn't really care for them, whatever. Also aesthetically, I think they make the guitar look uglier. So the other thing to note about Phil's guitar was that it had originally a Kaler. So he had it routed for a Floyd. So to go back in time and find like an 86, or whatever, Jackson Strat body with the same spec would be almost impossible. So I found this guitar, and it is absolutely perfect. So the next part of the mission was like, how do I get a 22 fret shark fin neck? Which actually was a lot harder because it has to have the regular old-fashioned heel. It can't be any of the new import stuff with the weird, modern heel, like whatever. And most guitars, Jacksons, are 24 frets. I never knew this until now. So what I discovered was that the Randy Rhoads RR3s made in Japan for a very small period of time, some of them are actually neck through, but some of them were bolt on. So I found one with a bolt on and I stole the neck. And then what I realized though was that the hardware was chrome. So I actually had another kind of Jackson made in Japan guitar, the Crackle, and I stole the nut from it. And then the Charvel that I just recently got had Jackson tuners in it, black Jackson tuners, so I stole the tuners. So everything was great. So then I bring it to my tech, Sal, and there were two issues that he had to correct. One was, even though the neck pocket fit perfectly, it didn't go deep enough. So he had to basically fill the holes, re-drill to get this seated exactly where it needed to be. The other thing was like, so like Sal, everything's perfect, except Phil's guitar has a rectangle. I can't see where I'm pointing. Has a rectangle inlay at the end, and I couldn't figure it out. So basically, Phil's Bela has a Phil Collen on it. And he's like, "Oh, I can do that." Now it doesn't say Phil Collen, but it's a rectangle. So my OCD was relieved because now I had the rectangle. So basically, this is it. This is as close as I think I'm going to get without, I don't know, having Jackson recreate the Bela. I got my kind of Jackson San Dimas kind of like, Strat type body. I got the pickup configuration I want. I got the 22 fret shark fin. And I got the rectangle here. Oh, and then I swapped the pickups for 2 super distortions because apparently Phil says there's a super distortion in both positions. He actually mentioned wanting to switch it out to X2Ns. But anyway, these are going to be covered and painted over. So it doesn't really matter. If I want to swap the pickups, I can. But I want it to be as authentic as possible. So anyway, I wanted to share all this stuff with you guys because it was just really fun. It took me a couple of months to get all this done, but I'm really pumped. I'm going to send it to Dan. Dan's going to, I'll be in line for a paint job, and then, in some time I'll share with you the final project and then play some Leopard. All right? All right. Peace out, guys. See you.